3.
Hi, this is Tom from Classic Home and Garden, and I'd like to thank you for purchasing the Yorkshire Fountain. It's what we kind of refer to as our bird bath style fountain. Extremely popular, makes great sound, great water action. What I've done here is I've brought out the main components to the Yorkshire Fountain when you pull it from the box. Obviously, you have the pump box and all the hardware that you need, tools, very easy assembly, but everything that you need is in that box. Then we have the base, all right? Then the bowl that goes on top of the base, and then we have this bird bath pedestal, which sits on top of that, which sits on top of this, all right? So here we go. In every fountain, you will receive a white box. In the white box will be 4 different components. The first and most important is the pump. The pump may come with the adapter already in. This is the piece when you place in the pump that will connect to the water hose that will bring the water to the bubbling point of the fountain. You will get the owner's manual. You will get a tool that you'll be able to use to tighten the clamps. It is going to be specific to the pump that we send, either with a Phillips head, a flat head, or both. And then of course we have shims. Shims you use after the assembly to just make sure at the fountain if it needs to be raised or lifted, or stabilized if it's on unstable ground. So those are the components that will be found in the white box. Do not throw that out. All right, we're gonna put the main bowl on top of the basin. So there are notches, 2 notches, which will match up with the fountain bowl basin. Sometimes you just gotta look at it a little bit. It's clicked in. I do a slight turn to the right until you kind of feel it lock in, all right? Then what we're gonna do is we're going to take the black cap off the PVC pipe. We then take our pump. The pump comes with a adapter which matches up with the hose that runs from that top bubbler. It will be on the pump. If not, you just have to click it in like this. And then what we do is we run the extension cord down through this hole. Now, it's very important that we make sure that you leave enough room for this pump to sit in the basin. All right, leave enough room, a little slack. Then we take the black cap, and where the extension cord part is, this little part that juts out, we're gonna just press that down over the top of the PVC pipe. Now, what we do, we will, making sure that this top is locked in, it's best to work with another person just to make sure that this doesn't unscrew. I'm just gonna lean this back a little bit. I'm gonna pull this out. That is the extension cord. On the back side over here, I'm gonna swing it over for you. You're gonna see that there's a notch. This is where the cord is supposed to come through. Now I will swing it back, like so, and run that extension cord out that way. Time to put the top bubbler on. This is what the bird baths love. We're gonna take the pump and we are going to attach it to this hose. All right? And there we have it. Now, there's a little clamp right here. You slide this down till it covers that little part. And then what I do is I just give it a couple little turns so that it's snug. Doesn't have to be really tight, but just snug so it doesn't move. So now we have the pump attached to the bubbler. This is gonna draw water out of the basin and bubble up out of the top. This is what we call our manual water flow controller. When it's in line with the hose, this is shooting out the max amount of water. In this fountain, I suggest that it stays this way, all right? What you always wanna make sure is when you put this pump back in the basin, that there are no bends or kinks in the line because that will restrict the water flow. So let's put this in, and then we're going to flip this over. we will center this in the ring that we have over here. Now, in the pump box, we gave you shims. This fountain is best when it runs perfectly flat. This part doesn't have to be perfectly flat, that doesn't. This part does. So I recommend a level, or if you see all the water's pouring out this way, that means you're gonna have to prop it up a little bit in the back using a shim. Shims are easy to do. You just basically stick it up underneath the fountain until you get the adjusted height that you need that's level. So at this point, I'm gonna take this out, but we're gonna stop here. I'm gonna get some water and we're gonna fill this up. All right, now we're ready to fill this baby up. So I'm using a bucket, but you can easily use a hose. I'm just gonna take this and fill her up. You can go right up to underneath the top bowl. If it splashes a little bit over the top, it'll find its mark. Again, with this fountain, if it overfills, it's gonna overflow if you leave it outside, or if it goes up over the top of the PVC pipe. This fountain throws off a lot of sound. It has a lot of water movement. What's very popular is also putting in some decorative stones up top. It helps make the water flow more evenly. So that's like a nice little added feature if you ever think about it. All right, we're gonna plug it in and see how it works. All right, looks to be moving really nice. The bowl is filling up. The top bowl, I should say. And this will start flowing rather shortly. All right, so this is a perfect fountain to, like I said, it runs best when it is perfectly flat. So feel free to use the shims and make sure that this fountain, the top part is perfectly level. It's not that difficult to do.